Is this the ugliest polisher or the most innovative one? Let's find out. What's up guys? Welcome back to Will's Rotary channel. Today we'll be checking out the very much anticipated DIY detail cord-free polishers. I got the DA here and the Rotary as well. Now for someone who details outdoors, of course I prefer these cordless machines, and honestly to me it's a must-have. Which is why for a while, this machine has been the one that's been fulfilling all my polishing needs. And honestly I'm very happy with it. But now there's a new kid in the block, which is this DIY detail machine. Now you might notice that it looks a little different. Is it like a camel that has a hump in the back? Or is it like a sea turtle that has a giant barnacle stuck in the back? Now before we get to testing, what I can say right now is the battery placement does shift the weight forward a lot more. So when you hold on to the handle, it is very hard to hold on to this, as I'm shaking right now, because all the weight is in the front. Whereas a machine like this, that you've seen in almost every cordless polisher design, the battery's in the back. So when I hold here, there's something heavy in the back and something heavy in the front, the motor and the battery. So this makes it so that when I'm holding it, I have to handle the weight back here, also the weight in the front. So we'll see how this plays into a polishing scenario and how this affects the experience. So before we get into demoing the machine, let me walk you guys through what you get in a box. So this machine, this is a DA model. This is a 25mm stroke, so a very wide stroke. And with this machine, you get 2 batteries and a fast charger, and also 2 plates, a 6-inch and a 5-inch. So all of this will come in a kit, and this will be $380. And there's also the Rotary model. Let me show you guys what it looks like in the box, since they both are packaged the same way. So again, you get 2 different backing plates, a 5-inch and a 6-inch. Fast charger, 2 batteries, and the machine itself. So it's packaged pretty well in this foam molding, but I would just suggest DIY detail that they put something over the top. So during transport, the battery doesn't jump out of the slot and start rolling around in there, because that's what happened with the DA that I unboxed. So here's the Rotary itself. Very solid feeling. So the Rotary includes the same things as well, 2 batteries, a charger, and 2 different backing plates, 5-inch and a 6-inch. And these are interchangeable. And it is priced at $360, so 20 bucks cheaper than the DA. Now the battery that they include, oh, it's kind of hard to take off. It says DIY detail on it, and it is a 5 amp hour battery. But these are indeed Milwaukee batteries. So if you don't want to use these batteries, you can get your existing Milwaukee batteries, or you can get it from Home Depot and just snap it right on to this machine. So it is nice that they didn't use a proprietary battery and use existing technology like that. Now both machines, they're built pretty solid, and the motor is for sure very confidence inspiring. You can just hear that torque coming in instantly, and that's honestly where it surprised me the most, just how strong this is, and it does not feel like a battery machine at all. Compared to my DeWalt one, when I press on a button, it just doesn't sound as powerful as this machine. Now with 2 batteries, it also comes with this battery charger that has active cooling. However, in that box, I would probably say this is the cheapest feeling item in there, because it just feels a little tinny and a little hollow. And what really got my attention is the noise that this makes when I plug this in. I don't know if you can hear, but it's making this high-pitched sound. I don't really know what that means or if that's an issue. So if you know, please let me know in the comments. And when I unplug it, you can see the light is still on. It's almost like it has a capacitor in there that stores electricity, and the noise just went away, kind of ramping off. But the weird thing is the other charger, when I plug it in, the fan turns on. I don't really hear that high-pitched noise. So maybe this one is a defective one, I'm not really sure. But when I unplug this, the light dims away a lot sooner. So don't really know what's going on. So if anyone knows, please comment down below. Now with that, let's get into testing these machines out. So I got a scrap panel here that I got from a collision shop, and it's got some scratches and it's pretty dirty right now. So let me just give it a quick clean and we'll see what's underneath all that dirt. So as you can see, this door panel is pretty trashed. Swirls everywhere, scratches everywhere. So what I'll be using is a DIY Detail wool pad and a gold standard pad. And then we'll come in with a rotary after. So what I'm going to do is half of it with a wool pad and half of it with a gold standard pad. And then we can do a side-by-side comparison. And I also got here just a little bit of rinseless in here. I'll drop these pads in, make sure they're damped before you use them. I'll do half about right here. So just to show you, both sides are equally as trashed. Ignore these two stripes. You can see the swirls, both pretty bad. So let's get to polishing. So the pad's been soaking a little. It's pretty saturated. So I'm gonna put it on the polisher. Spin this out. So I'm gonna start with 1 right here, lower speed. Start increasing the speed. Spin out a liquid. So now this is nice and fluffy and there's not a lot of liquid in there anymore, but it's just nicely damped. So now you're gonna increase the speed and grab your polisher. I'm gonna spray on here. Just like that. And you can see how even that polish got onto the pad. And it does have a trigger lock right here, so I can press my thumb and just let go. Speed 3. So the whole experience is very effortless. I just turn on the machine and just hold down here and let it rest, and it'll do its own work. But to see how powerful it is, let's see if I put some pressure down, this is gonna stall. I'm gonna do at still speed 3. So barely. I have to put down a lot of pressure to hear the pitch change, but this thing is very powerful. Let's go up maybe 4 or 5. So I'm putting down quite a bit of pressure right now. And this thing is not slowing down at all. Honestly, pretty impressive. The power on this thing is hard to beat. Let's wipe off, spraying some rinseless using this thick Freebird 600 towel. Shout out House of Rags, link in the description. Wow, that panel is shiny. So check this out. You can see the metal flakes here, and all the swirls are basically removed. And you can do this very easily with this machine. That scratch is never gonna come out. Compared to before, crazy difference. Part of the reason for this strong of a cut is the combination of the wool pad and the 25mm stroke. The 25mm stroke, you will not find it outside of DIY detail. You can see a DIY detail one is moving in a much bigger oscillation left and right because of a 25mm stroke, whereas this is only 15mm, and that's the majority of polishers out there. So I just spun out the pad, now it's nice and damped. One thing I do wish that this polisher can do better is I want to stay spinning for a little longer so I can have time to grab my polish and spray on there. Because now it's stopped and I need to rerun it and then spray. So I get a little less time there. Whereas this machine, my regular DeWalt, this thing will stay spinning for quite a while. You can see it's still spinning. So now let's see the 25mm stroke with just a gold standard pad and gold standard polish can do on this panel. All right, so some initial impressions is that this does feel a little bit more effortless to use because when I'm working on here, all the weight is in front. So when I'm holding here, my right hand is barely putting out any pressure or force. So all I need to do is just hold the polisher still and steer it left and right or up and down. Whereas the DeWalt, I do have to kind of evenly hold the machine. And I do feel the weight of the battery back there because almost the weight of the battery is heavier than the motor in the front. So that is a big advantage that this design has with this barnacle back here. But the one thing I do wish that this polisher has is some rubberized padding here. Because when the machine is running, there is going to be vibrations. And I do wish that there's a little bit of rubberized padding here that they can mitigate a little bit of that vibration, either on here or here. So the two touch points. Whereas the DeWalt does that pretty well because both the handle and the grip right here, this is all rubberized. And the handle here is a little thicker too. Whereas the DIY Detail one, this handle is a little smaller. So you have bigger hands, this might not fit you as well, but still, it's a comfortable grip, just the texture can be improved. And correction, there is a little bit of rubberized padding here, and this is just bare plastic, but there's some rubberized material here. Just not as robust as a DeWalt machine like right here. This feels thick. There is some dampening almost. So that's something that I think in the future maybe DIY Detail can improve on is the handle here. Just giving a little bit more padding and increase that rubberized material. So let's wipe this off and see the difference between the gold standard pad and the wool pad. Check it out, guys. Most of the scratches are gone besides the deeper one. The swirls, you can't see that anymore. So with just the gold standard pad, it does such a big difference. Visibly, you cannot see a big difference between this and this. Now, of course, since this is the wool pad, there is a slight haziness on this side. It's very hard to see and tell. Whereas this side seems a little deeper. The color black is a little deeper. Take a look at the difference. And take a look. huge difference. And you can see the wool pad one, and you can see the wool pad side, it did remove the slightly deeper scratches. Whereas the foam pad over here, the gold standard pad, you can still see that medium level scratches, not necessarily swirls. And here's what it looked like before. It was horrendous. But you can see both sides are going to remove that swirl. But with a wool pad, you won't be seeing that slightly deeper scratch. On a gold standard foam pad, you'll be seeing that still. But you can see the metal flakes, you see that? Is popping a lot more than the wool pad side. So now I've been putting back the tape because what I'll do is I'm gonna put another tape here and I'll use the gold standard pad here so you can see the difference. And go to speed 3. So you can see here, I don't need to hold this end at all. I can just hold this end and be fine. But you do lose that stability. So if you hold here, you get to steer a little better. And I hold it like this, it becomes very effortless. I'll wipe this off with this woolly mammoth. Man, this towel is honestly so thick. I've never experienced a towel like this. Even the bath towels that I wipe my body with aren't this thick. It's insane. Look at that paint. That is popping. So you see, you get the same level of pop in that deep black paint and the metal flakes. But if you look at the side that I just used the wool pad versus using the gold standard pad with the wool pad, the paint almost seems a little deeper and you don't get that hazy look. Whereas this side, you see how that circle is perfectly round? On this side, it has a little bit of a halo around it. That's because of the haze on the wool pad that it leaves behind. So that's the difference. So waffle pad only, wool pad only, both. So if you're happy with this look, then honestly, the DA machine is all you need because you can get this result with just the DA. Here comes the Rotary. Now the Rotary tool, this just spins. It doesn't oscillate at all. So it's a different machine. So Ivan teaches to use this Rotary machine for finishing steps. So if you're happy with this look, then the DA is all you need. But if you want a little more shine and gloss, then you can use the Rotary with this red jeweling pad. So let's see how this can improve the piano that we already have polished. It's bound to polish. So again, it's stopping a little too soon. I wish it could just free spin for a couple seconds, you know what I'm saying? Because right now, it stopped and then I sprayed. I only got it on this side of the pad. And this just pisses me off because it's like, I missed. So again, a very smooth machine. Behemoth of a cloth. It's crazy. All right, guys. So let's start from the very far right side. This is where we only gone over with a wool pad. And you can clearly see the border where we went over with a red jeweling pad and where we have not. So the red jeweling pad removed a lot of that haziness that the wool pad left over. You can see a clear difference. Right here is the border. Up here is where we haven't gone over with the red pad. Down here is where we have. So a big difference here. If I just move the light up and down here. And here with the wool pad plus waffle pad side, you can barely see a difference because the waffle pad does such a good job at finishing. The red drilling pad just makes a slight difference when I'm seeing with my eyes, but honestly, not a big difference. So after trying out these polishers on the test panel, what do I think? Are these polishers strong enough, capable enough? Is this worth you shelling out $380? Well, I think the answer is simple. This will do what every polisher out there would do, plus more. What really is its strong suit is the uniqueness and innovation. There's no other polisher out there that has this little turtle shell in the back. Now, even though it's not the sexiest machine out there, this does really tremendously help with the balance. So if you rest on a panel like this, your handle weight is almost nothing. So you can hold this thing very easily and have it steered with just one hand. And if you don't want to hold it by the handle, you can hold it by here. Most of the weight can be handled by the knob here. Another unique thing that no other polisher could do is the 25mm stroke. The widest stroke you might see on the market right now is 21mm by Rupes. In those machines, if you see the price, it might make you second guess where you're looking at. Now this machine, it comes with two 5 Ah batteries and a fast charger, two backing plates, a 5-inch and a 6-inch, and the machine itself. All of that and $380. And that's where I think value is another strong suit of this polisher. So DIY Detail didn't just come up with polishers that do exactly the same thing and look the exact same as every other polisher out there. They made innovative changes to the traditional battery-powered polishers and give them a little bit more stability and balance and trying to improve on the ergonomics. So that's where I really appreciate what they did with these polishers, as well as including two different backing plates. That's a big thing because you get to change that backing plate out if you prefer 6-inch pads or the 5-inch pads. So at the same time, they also sell these at a great value, including two batteries, two backing plates, a fast charger, and all of that just at $380 for this DA machine and $360 for that Rotary machine. And compared to the premium polishers out there, this is a steal because these don't perform any worse. These have a lot of power and you can do just as well with these machines as you can do with those premium machines. Now, that brings me to one of the downsides to these machines is material. Even though this does feel very solid, there's no creaks or anything, and it does feel well put together, the battery gets stuck. I can't really take this off without putting in a lot of pressure, and you gotta be really strong to take this off with one hand. You really have to work it to take out the battery. That is something that I think is a little bothering. And the material, the plastic, it feels a little too plasticky to me. I think it can benefit from a little bit more rubberized material, especially where you are putting your hand. And even though right here the handle, they did put some rubberized material, but they can definitely make this a lot more robust, like the DeWalt machine here. And it's got grooves and grips, and you can really grip onto this and feel firm in your grip and feel really stable in it. And on top of that, I think you can also benefit from a progressive trigger. This trigger right here, you can hear that click. So this is more of a switch. It turns it on or off. The speed is solely dependent on what setting you put this on. So as soon as you press down that trigger, it will just go to that speed. There's no ramp on or ramp off at all. So I think it can benefit from a progressive trigger here, just to give users a little bit more of a control. Like this DeWalt machine here, even though it's set at about 4 to 5, I can just hold down a little bit and make it run just that tiny bit. I just get that control. If I want to spread out the polish in the beginning, I can just hold it down a little bit and then hold it down completely to get to the full speed. So even though the exterior material is not the most premium, the motor does really surprise me. The second I press down this, I have it set to just 2. The second I press down the trigger here, you can hear how fast that torque comes in. And the second I hold down that trigger, I feel that torque kicking in. I can feel at the handle down here. So it does give you a lot of that confidence that this machine has a lot of power. So in that sense, it gives me the confidence that the quality is there and it has enough power to do whatever I need it to do. And with a 5-amp battery right here, this, with 2 of them, I can easily do my car, a 3-row SUV. While you're using the second battery, your first battery could be charging. And with that fast charger, by the time you deplete the second battery, your first battery will have enough that it can last you as well. And 3 batteries, if you can finish a whole car, you're probably spending way too much time on that car. I forgot to mention this when I was filming, but if you do want to use other brand batteries on this machine, since it only uses Makita batteries, you can get adapters like this. So in my example, I got a bunch of different DeWalt batteries, and sometimes I just want to put my existing batteries onto a machine like this if I forgot to charge these. So adapter like this, you can put it on the polisher like that, and you can grab your DeWalt battery and hook it on like this. But I say theoretically because it does work. But the thing is, if you listen to this, it is not the tightest fit between the battery and the adapter. So when you're using the machine, the vibration from the battery and adapter makes that sound. And I tried it with different batteries as well. They all kind of fit this way. So that's why I wouldn't recommend using this particular adapter. And I'll have it linked in the description so you guys avoid it. But if you do find an adapter that works well, that has a tight fit between the adapter and the battery, let me know down in the comments because that'll be very helpful. But as of now, I don't think this is gonna work. So if you're interested in these machines, I'll have them linked in the description below. And be sure to use the Wheels Record 10 discount code at both DIY Detail and the House of Rags. And that will get you 10% off and also give me a kickback to help support the channel. And full disclosure, I did receive these polishers free of charge from DIY Detail for winning the DIY Tuber program. And honestly, I didn't know I was gonna win anything from DIY Tuber. I literally got a text from Ivan last week. He goes, "Good news, your prize for winning DIY Tuber is finally coming." And I was like, "What prize?" And even if I didn't receive it, I was gonna buy it anyway because I really wanted that 25mm stroke on a cordless machine. So I hope you guys enjoy my review on these machines. I hope I showed you guys what these machines are capable of and gave you an impression on my experience with these machines. And I try to show the pros and cons that I noticed with these machines and also give feedback on what I think these machines can improve on. And honestly, at the end of the day, these machines are at a great value, so you can't really go wrong with them. But I just also want you guys to be aware of some of the things I think it could do better. So thank you guys so much for watching the video. I hope this has been helpful and informative. And if you have any questions about these machines, leave them in the comments down below. I'll get to all of them and try to answer all the questions I can. So until next time, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.